Hey, good morning, everybody. We are on our way to a on-site to help out another church that wants to have a video system designed. It's been a long weekend. Got a lot of videos that's going to be dropping here pretty soon. We got a new camera, did a review, finished up the virtual choir at my church, a bunch of fun stuff. But let's get the day started. I need to find my mask somewhere, and then let's get on the road to head to this church. About another PTZ in here to view the baptism, which makes it very convenient because right now the only way that the congregation can see is with this mirror that sees over the choir stand. So another benefit to adding cameras into your sanctuary is not just for the entertainment purpose, is for usability. So that's really cool what we can do with that. Alright folks, so it is significantly later in the day because I finally got a chance to sit down at my computer and design this system at Community Independent Methodist Church. This is going to be a big project similar to what we've done before. Thankfully, the ceiling is not that high, and I actually have someone who is excited about going and pulling cables in the attic, so I don't have to do them. I mean, I'll still be up there to do it, but I'm excited about this. So let's go ahead and cut over, and let's go ahead and design the system and show you what we're going to do. All right, so we're here in Draw.io. Let's go ahead and do a new design. So call it Community. And thankfully, we actually got a sponsor that's going to provide me with a product for this. So I'll talk about that later. But let's go ahead and get the basics. They've already done a new sound system, but then COVID hit and they didn't get a chance to use it. So they actually have a Behringer X32, which is going to be more than enough for what we're going to do. What the main thing they wanted is we're going to add 4 cameras into the system, 5 cameras actually. Sorry about that. It's going to be 2 on each side of the wall, 1 in the back, 1 in the front, so you can see people walking into the entrance of the church. But then there's also going to be another one over the baptismal pool, because I showed a clip of it, that because of the baptismal pool, no one can really see, and they have a humongous mirror, so that way that you see the reflection. That's going to be completely removed, and a camera is going to be able to replace that, and it's going to give people a lot better shot than it was than the mirror can do. We're also going to have 2 65-inch screens hanging at the front, another 65-inch screen hanging from the middle of the ceiling for the pulpit and the choir, which is going to be interesting. It's the first time we've ever done that. And then we're also going to run a feed into the fellowship hall. With that also being said, we're adding security cameras, and which will allow us to enhance their internet. I believe I also put 2 access points in there as well too, to expand the Wi-Fi to reach the other areas. We're going to be running hardwire cables into the media booth and other locations that it needs to be, which is pretty much every camera. But those are going to be direct connections there. And Yeah, I think that's it. But I mean, and then dedicated live streaming system. But they specifically said that they wanted the ATEM Television Studio HD, so not the Extreme or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting, but mainly because of the dynamics of what they want to use the device for. So let's go ahead and let me just speed through this, and then we're going to walk through everything we're going to do. That's it. So let's go ahead and just walk through that. I don't know why I always do this. I put it in the lining up how I would think it would go in the actual building, even though I don't have blueprints. So let's start from the top. We're going to have a UDM Pro that's going to give us network access. Going to give us smart control over the access points to have controlled Wi-Fi in the fellowship hall as well as in the sanctuary. That is also going to give us NVR functionality for the security cameras that are going to be spaced out throughout the entire building. So it'll record that as well, and it gives us future expansion for door access as well as voice over IP if they ever decide to go into that. We're going to have a PoE switch, a 24 port switch that's going to, handle all of the jacks for the computers that are in the fellowship hall, as well as send power to all of the security cameras. And technically, we may, I'll mention the other one later. What else? Yeah, so it's going to do that. And instead of doing a long Ethernet cable, what I'm going to do is actually do a fiber optic cable between both of the main PoE switch and the switch that's going to be in the media booth, which is going to give internet to all the other locations. This is going to be a 16-port PoE switch, so this is going to provide power to all of the cameras so that we don't have to put electrical there. So we're going to send that connection to each one, and that's the one I did not draw out. I wish I forgot to do that part. But we're going to run that to each one of the 4 cameras, and we're also going to power the access point that's going to be inside the sanctuary. So that's 5 devices right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is with the access point. All right. It's going to be on a completely different enclosed network, the RJ45, what we use to RS232 to RJ45. That's going to connect the joystick to all of these cameras over serial. Like I said, we need to run another network cable at the same time, which should be easy because, well, actually all of these need to route back. So whatever, it'll be fine. So that's how it's going to connect to the joystick. Now, like I said, we're using the ATEM Television Studio HD for the purpose of they want a multi-view, which is going to be out over HDMI or SDI. It's going to be HDMI. But we're also going to use the pulpit TV is going to be like a stage display. All right, so that is going to... In the ATEM Television Studio, we're going to use that as the aux out. We're going to have it hard-coded to the output from our presentation system. So that's going to go into there. Now, our presentation system, now I think about it, actually needs to be a PC because we need to have dual outputs. One is going to be the main output that's going to go to the so that everybody can see. But then there's going to also be a stage display. That's going to be the one. So for anybody, the choir, the pulpit will always see something completely different in a different format than the one that everybody else is going to see. That's why we're going with that. And they specifically asked for that. And because the ATEM television studio does not have any streaming support, that is why that is going into a streaming PC. Now, I hemming and hawing about this. I might actually let the streaming PC convert that into a presentation system and then go with a Web Presenter HD that handles the live stream. So that I think that would be a lot easier and straightforward. I might go in that direction because I think the budget will actually balance that out, because for us to have multiple outs, unless I'm doing some type of USB to display or something like that, getting a 3 output video card has been problematic trying to find, but we'll think about that as well. Now, for each one of the cameras, we have 5 cameras. So 4 of them are going to be over SDI, and then the other one has to be converted to HDMI. So we're going to use Blackmagic SDI to HDMI converter. Not a problem. What we're going to do is put that on the back camera since it's so close, and just have the converter there. All the rest of them are just going to go over SDI, so not a big deal. And we can put the SDI converter right behind the ATEM television studio, and it can be powered in that area, so that's not a big problem. Now, also, because everything is going to be PoE, this network switch is going to be powered off when the service is over. That way it can kill the power to all the cameras at the same time, which makes me sit back and think now that maybe the access point in the sanctuary actually probably needs to go all the way back. I might have to change this because it's not a big deal if the system is going to be off when people are in the sanctuary. If it needs to be on, we'll just have to run a direct line from the PoE switches in the back and just to that access point, which shouldn't be that far, because he actually labeled the distances and everything. So it's about 50 feet. So not super, super long distance. Now, like I said, we have the aux out that's going to go to a SDI to HDMI for the pulpit TV, but the other 2 TVs and the one in the back in the fellowship hall, this is temporarily, I am using, we're going to go into a SDI 1x8 distribution matrix, and it's going to send the signal to all these TVs. That is what my initial plan was, but Ori is sending me wants to sponsor this install, and they're going to provide me with an HDMI over Ethernet extender for this. So pretty much the SDI and converters will probably go away, and we'll be using that for the TVs, but we still need to have a one connection for the aux out for that back display. And honestly, now that I think about it, this might not need to be an aux out. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I had to rethink of that. For aux out, this actually isn't going to come from the ATEM at all. This is going to be like a third monitor. So this, well, actually, we have 2 ways to do this. I can connect this pulpit TV directly to the presentation system, and that way it will work. Or I will just run the audience output from the presentation system and the stage display into the ATEM, and then the aux out will be hard set to always output the stage display. We can go either direction with that, so it doesn't really matter. But this is what the design of this entire thing. But this is going to be interesting. So the security cameras are going to be under Unify. The network is going to be under Unify. We're going to be using Blackmagic for the video stuff. So what we're going to do is, once I get the approval, I will bring y'all along and we'll go. And like I said, let me know, is there anything else that you would like to know about this design? This is similar to a design I've been doing with a lot of other ministries, and this is the same setup that I have at my church. and maybe going on about 25 churches right now. So they're happy with that. And the one thing is I'm not using the Ori because there's not that many, I'm not using the Thor HDMI RF modulator because there's not that many TVs that need to be expanded, and the distance isn't very long. We can just split it again. But like I said, I need to make sure the performance and the latency is good, and we're going to compare that with the Ori, and we'll do a review and unboxing of that when we get that to see, because the main concern is there latency on it, because it needs to be in sync and not anything noticeable for the TVs that are inside the sanctuary. So we'll pull cables for both, but we're going to be leaning on that. And I just want to say a big thank you to Ori for saying that they want to sponsor this. So I appreciate that. And we'll see what we can do. Ultimately, what we can also do is, if we have to move it to something else, I'll take that and put this in our sanctuary, because we're looking at getting some new projectors, and we need we need to update the cabling to go there anyway. And I think that would be easy for our extensions and all this other good stuff like that. So we either have the HD base T that we can do, or we can do it with the this new 4K extender, either one. But either way, it's going to be find a good home at a ministry to help distribute the video in some way, shape, or form. So if you have any other questions or want any more details on this, please let me know. And honestly, I think with all the other live stream stuff I'll be doing, I might actually be interested in bringing somebody on and we design a system for them live, and just see what y'all think about that as well. So if you're interested in that, please let me know and in the comments, or send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com, and we will see what we can do, and maybe we can put that into another show or something like that. So I don't know. But if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. I want to thank the patrons and the YouTube members for making this video possible. The name's on the screen right now, and you too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.